So I'm gonna go over some things that really helped me to be able to breastfeed, especially in those early months and now continuing to 9 months and hopefully a little bit more, and what you can do to also support your supply. I'm not an expert, I'm not a lactation consultant, I'm not a doctor, anything like that. This is just from my experience and what has worked for me. So take anything that resonates, leave whatever doesn't. Okay, I got my flower top on for a controversial topic, I think, but I don't think it has to be. It's not going to be controversial on this channel. Welcome to New Mom on the Block. I am Lindsay Legister. I am a new mom. I am sharing my experience, personal stories, personal learnings, and this isn't to say that it is going to be the same experience for you. This is what you should do. However, I do feel like sharing these things will hopefully support you in embracing your flavor of motherhood, whatever that is. And I hope that you will also begin to trust your intuition more and more when it comes to motherhood, parenthood, connecting with your child, connecting with your inner wisdom that has always lived inside of you. So that's the mission of New Mom on the Block. I'm glad you're here. Breastfeeding. Okay, we're gonna talk about it today. I am 9 months postpartum when I'm filming this video. I am still breastfeeding. I actually have to relieve myself after this video. But I wanna talk about it. I think I said in the beginning it's controversial because there seems to be this rhetoric online of like, make sure you don't shame moms who can't breastfeed and or choose not to breastfeed and or find it hard and then stop breastfeeding. And you know, there's also just this idea that the language is like fed is best. I'm not saying I don't agree with that, but fed is best first, breast is best. Anyway, online can be so intense and can bring you down some pretty intense rabbit holes when it comes to things like breastfeeding or anything related to motherhood and taking care of a child. So all that to say, just be mindful of your consumption around this and take a moment to turn inward after you watch this video, of course, to turn inward and just check in with yourself. What feels right to you in this moment? I know it is a bit more complex than that at times, but when it comes to breastfeeding, I have always wanted to give it my very best. What I didn't realize going into breastfeeding was that it was going to be much more challenging than I thought. It wasn't going to be like, let's latch and just flow from here. Although that's kind of how I feel now, so it did get to that point, but it took a while. A little bit of background here. I gave birth and right away, I wanted to have Mav, my son, latch. And when he did so cute, but he didn't latch very well. Normal, totally normal. They're getting the hang of it. Lactation Consultant eventually came around, which I highly recommend. I'll get to that in a moment. She taught me the whole nine. She walked me through everything. She was like a football coach, and I was like, she was a little softer than that, but I felt really confident, but still his latch wasn't deep. He had caused a little trauma to my nipple. And when he caused trauma that early, ooh, baby, it just takes a while to heal because they're on the nipple at least every 3 hours. It's just a little crazy. So I had intense pain. So I was really working from like a very negative place of like, this is so painful. How am I going to do this? Every time he latched, I would almost cry. It was so painful. So I really had to give myself grace and I had to do everything I could to support like healing the nipple in between feedings. I'll get to that. But I just wanted to give you an idea of like, it wasn't easy for me from the get. It was quite challenging and all signs pointed from a mind perspective to give up, just let it go. You don't need to breastfeed, all good. But I'm someone who really likes to educate myself, do a lot of research on the benefits and pros and cons of things. And yeah, I'm just fascinated by research and educating and seeing how it lands for me. So when it comes to breastfeeding, I learned a lot. It's really quite a magical process that your body creates milk for your new child, and that milk is specific for your child, specific for their developmental needs, their growth needs. Just to give you some like amazing facts, benefits for babies. So breast milk provides the perfect mix of vitamins and protein and fat that your baby needs to grow at that time. It actually changes with your baby. So my breast milk now is not the same as it was month 1. It's fascinating and just so amazing. I read something the other day that was like, that person that just sneezed in next to you on the subway, yeah, your body has already started to produce the antibodies needed, because if your baby's with you, say, the antibodies needed in the breast milk to make sure that your baby does not get sick with what that person might have. I mean, how incredible. Like, are we thinking about and talking to our bodies like they are the miracle that they are, and the incredible, just, I don't want to say machine, but kind of that they are. It's just wild. This is also incredible. Breast milk is also incredible for immune support. Matt was born in August. We were going into winter months. So it was really crucial for me to be able to support his immune health with my breast milk. There were a few points at which I was sick and he was able to get the antibodies of what I was fighting, and he never got sick. So I'm just so thankful for that. And there's just a lot of long-term health benefits that have been researched, so you can do your own research on that. I just want to share some of these because I think we live in a society now that's like, you don't need to breastfeed. Fine. But are we supporting moms in educating them on how to breastfeed, how to increase their supply, and also educating them on the benefits for them and their baby? So some benefits include lowering risk of certain cancers like ovarian cancer and breast cancer, protection against chronic conditions like high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. It's known to really help with postpartum recovery. So what you'll experience if you do breastfeed is that breastfeeding actually helps the uterus contract. It kind of feels like period cramps in the first couple weeks. It's not the most comfortable, but it's amazing. It can also reduce postpartum bleeding, which is incredible. The emotional and physical bond with your child is unmatched. You will feel it. It's just so special. So to have these moments with Mav, breastfeeding him, especially in the middle of the night, and just looking at him and being like, wow, you're getting exactly what you need from my body, and we are here and we are exactly what each other needs. It's just so special. I don't know if there is data around this, but I can imagine that the social and emotional benefits to this are real in the long run. Plus, breastfeeding, free. Granted, I have to eat food that costs money, but it has been really nice and convenient to not have to buy formula on a regular basis, and nice also to be able to whip out a boob. So I want to pause and just honor everyone's choice, right? Like, some people do not produce milk. They are low suppliers, and that is a thing. And they might have to supplement with formula early on. I support it, whatever you need to do. I think my intention in sharing this too is just hopefully setting up anyone who desires to breastfeed, setting them up to be a little bit more confident, successful, just healthy while they do it, because I don't know if we are being properly educated and supported, whether it's by doctors, the hospital, society, social media. Got me? Okay. Let's fire through just what I've learned breastfeeding and how to optimize your experience and optimize your supply. Fire through. First thing, starts in the hospital. You are probably going to be sent a lactation consultant. They're going to come around in the first or second day that you are there. Take advantage, ask all the questions. Hopefully they're able to spend a lot of time with you, like go over things with you, pull out the boob, see the latch, teach you how to do different holds that are comfortable for you. Take advantage, ask all the questions. It was so helpful. I really felt like I learned a lot in like the hour that she spent with me. We took the baby and went over like every different position, and I found that like there were 2 positions that I really liked. One was like a football hold, then like a sideline position was so helpful. So take advantage. And if you're not giving birth in a hospital, totally fine. See if you can get a lactation consultant. There's lots of them out there. ask around, maybe in some mom groups. I'm sure they have some recommendations. Okay, let's fire on. 2, care for the nipples, baby. Save the nipples as best you can. It's going to be a wild ride with the nipples, to be honest. If some people escape this experience, God bless you. You're so, so lucky. Silverettes, game changer. These protect the nipple. They are also antimicrobial. They also help with not allowing the chafing to happen if you have a bra or t-shirt on. So freaking helpful. Silverettes. You can put them in your bra. I also got Medi honey. So this is basically medical honey. It's for wound care. Not that I have open wounds, but I definitely had some sort of cracks and things. It was very soothing. It's okay for baby if they taste it, etc. I would always clean off the nipple, but that was really, really helpful. Another way to care for your nipples is saltwater dips. Okay, so you're gonna take 2 shot glasses, you're gonna fill them with warm salt water, you're gonna place them over your nipples, lean over, and just soak them for a few minutes. A couple times a day if you can. Once a day is great, but a couple times is even better. These salt water dips are so helpful for healing, so make sure you do them consistently, especially if you're experiencing pain. They will help, I promise you. I also got those ice packs, those boob ice packs. You can Google them. I think I got the Frida Baby brand. This was helpful. I just sometimes felt a little pain. I don't know what it was. It was just a little fire happening. So sometimes heat, the warm salt water was great, but sometimes the ice was just really, really soothing. So just trust your body. Those helped. Next tip, heading out of nipple care, is taking it one day at a time. I wanted to give up many times. You too? Okay. Normal. Even though you want to do it so badly, it is something you're committed to, you can still be challenged by this in a huge way. It's a huge undertaking. It is an honor and a privilege, but a huge undertaking. You might want to give up many, many, many times over. Take it one day at a time. Just get to tomorrow. Get through today, get to tomorrow. Here I am 9 months in and I'm still going, and it definitely gets better, I promise you. Everything smooths out. They eat a little less over time when they incorporate food. It's not going to be 85 feedings a day forever. It will get better, I promise you. So that mindset really, really helped me. Next tip, have a container of formula on hand. I am not against formula, though I have opinions about what is in formula and how they regulate that and all that jazz. That's probably not for another video because they would ban the video. But I had peace of mind knowing that I had formula on hand, because the supply thing is real. It could go up and down depending. You might be sick, it might go down. You might get your period back, it might go down. You might be stressed, you might not get enough sleep, hydration, food, which I'll get into. But having that formula on hand is just giving you a lot of peace of mind. And hey, if you have to supplement with formula, do it to it. But just having that, I think in the middle of the night, there can be some nights when in the early postpartum, your milk is still coming in and you're like, oh my God, my child is screaming, they're hungry, and I don't have enough milk. Supplement with formula if that is going to help. You can get back to your breastfeeding the next day. It's all good, but have that for yourself. My recommendations, what did I have on hand? Not sponsored. I had Earth's Best on hand. I also had ByHeart. Now I have on hand the A2 whole milk toddler formula from Serenity Kids, and that formula is called a toddler formula because it does not have industrial seed oils, which is kind of my issue with most infant formulas. So that is the only difference. So take that or leave that. Some people are uncomfortable with doing a toddler formula, but from my research, the only reason why it's called a toddler formula is because it doesn't have industrial seed oils. So I actually do in emergency situations. I was really sick with cold flu type thing a couple months back, and my supply just dipped so much, and so I had to supplement with formula. So I used the Serenity Kids A2 toddler formula. So take it or leave it. So have that formula back out. Okay, let's fire on. Let's talk about supply. This is the last thing I'm going to talk about, making sure your supply, giving yourself the best chance of a good supply. I am not an expert, but this is my experience. So this is what worked for me. Please consult a lactation consultant, any form of expert in this space to get exactly what you need for you, but this is what worked for me. So I focused on 3 things: food, nourishment, hydrating, and sleep. Top 3. So in terms of food, making sure you're eating nutrient-dense food on the regular. I found that my supply would kind of come in about an hour or two after I ate. So, you can kind of see how your body produces, whether it's quicker or slower, and kind of how you can time meals. But I was eating all the time, y'all. I had nutrient-dense snacks and meals at the ready. I talked about this in another video where I shared tips around your first month postpartum and having meals like at the ready set up for you. So what you can do is, if you have time or your partner can support, or friends or family, meal prep some really nutrient-dense things that you can just grab out of the fridge, whether it's like energy balls, but like focus on the fats and the protein in the balls rather than any form of like caffeine or energy. We don't want that. But that is really, really important, to be able to grab something that is, high in calories, but good calories, a great fat content, protein, fiber, carbohydrate, really healthy carbohydrates. And that just saved me. I was eating a lot of meat. I'm a meat eater. Meat, wild salmon, grass-fed beef, lamb, whatever I could get my hands on. Lots of bone broth, so helpful and hydrating. So just make sure you're not eating any empty calories. Make sure you're not fasting. Make sure you have things at the ready on hand for you to eat. 2 is hydration. As part of this, I cannot emphasize it enough. Hydrate as you breastfeed. I noticed that really helped me. 2, make sure you have electrolytes in your water. Oh my God, do not just drink plain water. Add electrolytes, your electrolytes of choice. I love Element. There's other brands like Feel Good, I think it is. They have great electrolytes. I think there's like Athlites or something. I should really have these down. But anyway, just get electrolytes in your water, even just some salt and a little bit of lemon. Take it down. You will be producing more milk. Hydration is so key. Have a big where's my Stanley? It's somewhere. Have a big jug of water. It doesn't have to be a Stanley. It could be a Hydro Flask. It could be something you find on Amazon that's huge and this big, whatever. Just get your water that has electrolytes in it, please. Also, overnight, make sure you're hydrating. I know it's hard and like you'll have to pee a million times, but actually I found that you don't pee as much because you're producing the milk and it's going there. So get that out of your head. Hydrate overnight. I'm hydrating all day, every day. So helpful. Last part of this trifecta is sleep. I know. How do you get sleep? How do you get sleep? You have a new baby. It's hard. It's not always feasible. And this is so annoying. This is like the advice I got, and I was like, I don't nap. I can't nap. People were like, nap when the baby naps. Oh, please, for the love of God, try to do that. Please, I will do it the next child. I promise. I will. Sleep when the baby sleeps if you can. Your supply will thank you. Your supply will increase. Most likely that's what happened to me. And I've heard from many friends that like sleep was the key. So sleep when baby sleeps, overnight, when you put them down for like bedtime in earnest, go to bed when they go to bed, get that 2 or 3 hours before they wake up again. Like just get your sleep. Get your sleep. That's the trifecta for me. It's really, really simple, but not always easy to do. I know it takes a lot of energy to prepare food, to make sure you're hydrated, all of these things, but trust me, to build these habits and make it just like a regular, normal, natural thing for you to do is so worth it to get your supply up. It also just reduces the stress around feeding. Last thing I'll talk about is pumping. So I didn't know anything about pumping. I went into it kind of blind. I just like got my pump. I was like, so what do we do here? When do we start? And I think I started pumping like maybe a month in. And even then I didn't really know like the proper way. I looked up like kind of a simple cadence, but I think I was pumping like morning and night. So I would feed on the boob in the morning, but then I would pump out anything that was left. And then at night I would pump before I went to bed. And I've kind of made it up from there, to be honest. Like some days I don't pump at all. Some days I pump 3 times a day. Sometimes I pump once a day. I don't know if that's right or wrong, to be honest, but at this point I'm understanding pretty clearly that like there's really no hard and fast rules. Your body is going to be different than my body. Your supply is going to be different than my supply. Your response to pumping is going to be different than mine. I do want to share that like I over pumped. I pumped so much at one point. There was a day that I pumped a lot, and oh my God, I had like lightning bolts in my boobs for a couple days. It was so painful. So you could be extra sensitive to that pull and tug, and pumping. Just go into it a little slow, but it was helpful. There are times when I wanted other people to feed the baby, be able to feed the baby, like my husband. So pumping was great. I could put it in a bottle and you can get used to a bottle, and also the nipple. We didn't have any nipple confusion. That was just us, but take it slow and just trust how you're feeling with it. There's really no right or wrong. Last thing I'll say about collecting a supply in your freezer. I was like kind of hard up on that. I was like, I gotta have a supply in the freezer. And I was kind of stressing myself out about it. And I realized this is a good lesson. Anything that's like stressing me out more than it is benefiting me, like I'm kind of gonna let go. And that's what it was doing. So I let it go. And I also then learned that like if I'm saving milk from like month 2 and like think I'm gonna give it to him month 9, it's not really gonna have the benefits he needs for month 9, because the milk changes with your child and the needs. So do I think having a supply in the freezer is great? Yeah, of course. I think for immunity, you can even add it to the bath if they have eczema. Like there's a lot of benefits, but there weren't as many like solid benefits that made me want to pump more and freeze my milk. Does that make sense? That's it. Breastfeeding is a journey. Holy mother, it is a journey. You're going to want to give up early on, potentially. And if you're having an easy time, bless you, and I'm so happy for you. But most of us have a rough go, and I just pray that you are able to find the information that give you the best chance of making it work. Not because I think it's right or anything like that, but I do think we produce this milk, this just magical substance for our child specifically for a reason. So, my wish would be that they're able to get that. But yeah, comment below. Let me know what you think. I'm curious about your experience. Thank you so much for watching New Mom on the Block. What else do you want me to talk about? I would love to hear from you. I'm Lindsay Legister. I am a new mom on the block. Welcome to any new moms. And honestly, this is what I want to say. Being a new mom is like kind of parenthood forever and ever, because like you're always experiencing something new with your kids. Am I right? Yeah, I think I'm right. So you're always kind of a new mom, right? So if you feel like, oh, I didn't just have a baby, but like you're experiencing new things, you're a part of the club. All right, I'll see you on the next episode.